following presentation is for educational purposes only. All of the symbols, trading ideas, and live trading are for demonstrational purposes and are not recommendations or trading advice. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. All of the information and opinions expressed by third-party guests are their own and are not necessarily those of NinjaTrader LLC. Trading futures involve substantial risk and may not be suitable for everyone, and trading futures can result in losses greater than the initial required margin. Traders should only trade futures with risk capital. Risk capital is money that you can afford to lose without jeopardizing your financial security or current lifestyle. You can find additional disclosure information on the NinjaTrader website.
All right, we are back, folks, with a very special event today, another installment of Meet the Team. And this is a special one for me because if there is such a thing as a Renaissance man, it's our guest, Mark Grieco, Director of Product Management. Mark, good morning. How are you?
Hey, Jim. How you doing, my friend? Nice to see you again.
You too. And I'm not just saying Renaissance man because you got an Italian last name.
Okay.
But we're talking.
I know that gets me some points with you, so that's good.
well, you're pretty. You got an active life, right? You're a competitive hockey player still.
Yes. That I'm desperately clinging to my youth, as my wife says. She's probably right.
Well, I know you in person, and you're in darn good shape. And then you're also a musician, right? You sing and play music.
I do. It's a passion of mine. I play in an '80s rock cover band. It's cheaper than therapy, and so that's a lot of fun. And I try and find some time to do that occasionally. So.
Yeah. And then you also, in addition to all of that, you have you take care of our canine friends, right? You're out there adopting dogs and taking care of them. It's been a passion of yours, right?
Yeah, yes, sir. Big animal advocate. Rescues. We have 6 rescues that pretty much own the house. We just pay the mortgage, so we're big into that here. So I don't live a normal life, as you can well imagine.
No, it sounds exciting, but yeah, you're a busy man for sure. And you've been involved in the in the derivatives market, the futures and options market for a long period of time now.
Pretty much since college. I mean, this is been in this industry in various roles for many years now, since the late '90s, mid to late '90s. So this is I like to say this is all I'm good at here, Jim. So and it's a lot of fun, and I find the industry to be fascinating. And I think that one of the things that's trading is so challenging, and one of the things that I really enjoy doing is to try and build products and tools and features and educate people to be successful for the long term, right? That's the goal. I mean, the saying is, even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while, once in a blue moon. But the idea is to hit for average, right? And to be consistent over the long term. And I think that that's the challenge. Trading is one of the greatest challenges out there. And I think that one of the things that's great about what we do, what you do here in the education department, and the rest of the guys work on, is just really trying to help people be better every day, and that's the goal. So it's a great thing that we're doing.
Yeah, no, I feel good about it, and a lot of people don't know that you were the one of the, if not the original architect on the NinjaTrader live streams that we have today.
Well, I like to think it was you were there at the beginning as well, and it was a team effort. But it's great to see how it kicked off and how it's grown just in the short period of time that we've been doing this, which is like less than 3 years, really, when you think about it.
Yeah, it's been nothing but fun for me and educational for me. But now your title now is Director of Product Management. What does that entail?
So anything that's I work on the product team with a lot of other super talented people here at NinjaTrader to really create, enhance products and services that could be platform related, trading related. They could be education related in terms of how we integrate education into our platforms, which is something we're certainly focused on moving forward. But working with customers to understand Really, you think about the role of product management, it's really just, working with customers to allow them to innovate through us and to give them what they want and what they need. Again, to be better traders, right? To be better traders for the long term. And how do we do that? And how do we make trading easier? How do we make it more certain? How do we make it less scary? How do we, all the things that people struggle with that have traded over the years. And there's two buckets, right? There's the seasoned advanced futures trader like yourself, and how do we create things for that person and their needs, and then how do we create things to for new futures traders, for new futures retail traders that maybe haven't traded futures before, but they're dipping a toe in, or they're jumping in with both feet. And how do we make sure that the right tools and products and services are in our platforms and part of our organization to make sure that they're successful?
Yeah, and we have so many new products at the exchange. Micros are still relatively new to me because I'm old. I've been around a long time. So relatively speaking, they're pretty new.
Right there with
So you have, yeah, I mean, so you have these new products here with which mean a new target, audience of potential traders that could access these.
Yeah, and I think that, it's a great time for futures, right? You think about some of the micros and the nanos and the new products that have been really designed especially for the retail trader. And I joke a little bit about how when the e-mini came out, it was great, but for a lot of people, it wasn't mini enough, right? And so it just wasn't for a lot of traders. And so now you look at the micro contracts and the nanos and some of the things that these exchanges are doing to really cater products to the retail futures trader. And I think that's it's a great time because I think you go back 20 years and futures was really looked at more as an institutional product, a professional trading product, and now it's still that, right? Those products exist, but these other products are now being sized right and tailored to the retail trader, which I think is a great thing.
Yeah, I'm certainly encouraged by our audience and our community and our large live stream. We have experience, middle of the road. This is my first time. What am I looking at? So we get this huge demographic swing that's awesome. Now, one of the things, Mark, that I know you're really, being in this business for a long time, and I know it's kind of an important thing to you, is risk management.
Yeah, it
And
is. I think.
yeah.
Go ahead, Jim.
No, and we've developed some tools, and you've developed some tools along those lines, and I just wanted to kind of pass it to you.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've got some tools that existed really before I even got into product management here at NinjaTrader, and I think that, and I think you'd agree. You hear people talk about this all the time, but you think about retail traders, and you think about any kind of trader really, and the biggest challenge to trading successfully for the long term is what? Is you, right? We're people. We are, we are emotional beings, and there aren't too many things in life that prey more on emotions than trading. Agreed? So,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
so my message to traders always has been, and I see this from experience, and you see people, you see people over the time I've been in this business just not getting it, not being successful, blowing out accounts, doing things like that because they don't recognize that their biggest challenges themselves, right? And my message to traders has always been, and I hope you agree, that you can't get to being a successful trader for the long term or consistently until you can learn how to manage risk. And that risk management is different for everybody, right? Those parameters of keeping yourself on the rails is different from me to you to every other different kind of trader out there. And you have to quantify that. You have to have a plan around that. And it's shocking to me to this day. And it's no different than it was really 15, 20 years ago when I look at retail traders, how many people don't use stops and targets and don't have a plan for managing risk. And to me, I hope you'd agree, that's a recipe for disaster, really.
Oh yeah, I mean, the most important thing, you go into a trade, there's three things you're looking at, right? Where you want to enter, where you want to admit you're wrong, that's your stop loss, and then what your profit target is, right? Those are the three components that's best practices. You have to get those in.
Absolutely. And we have tools that already exist, and I can show them if I can share my screen.
Yeah, let's do it.
That'd be okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me share my
There, there you
okay.
go.
Um, let me share my screen here.
So right now we're seeing the mobile. Oh, there we go. We got it.
How
Beautiful.
about that?
There you go.
So this is our client dashboard essentially, but this functionality extends to our trading platforms as well. And it's called the risk settings, and you can find it under your profile here in the settings, under accounts. And I'm logged into a demo account here, so this is a simulated account, but this works for real money accounts as well. And we've got some things here, and I don't know, Jim, if you want to talk through these things, but these are the kinds of things, and there's descriptions here, obviously, where you can kind of pop out and read about some of these items in a lot more detail. But as you turn these on, there's a kind of a description underneath. And I don't know, Jim, if you want to talk about maybe, is there anything on here that jumps out at you that's important that should be part of your daily trading religion or practice? I mean, I think this stuff is important.
Yeah, so this daily loss limit idea, right? So a lot of us are day traders, right? We're not holding positions overnight. We're not building portfolios. We're not swing trading for a longer period of time, in most cases. Now, there's exceptions to that as well, but the daily loss is the thing, right? Because we're going to fund you have a certain amount of risk capital that you're going to fund your account with when you're ready to trade live money, right? And we're talking money. This is an important thing in life, right? We put this so emotions run high like you suggest, and the ability to I'm going to call this the back end. I know it's not the right word, Mark, but the ability to go into your account dashboard and say, listen, here's my loss limit. Here's the most I'm willing to lose today. Maybe it's the percentage of your account. Maybe there's some other calculus you use to come up with that number, but that helps put a kind of a hard stop in for the day.
It does, right? And this is how somebody starts to craft their kind of landscape of their risk parameters and staying kind of on those guardrails and kind of sometimes protecting you from yourself, which if you talk to people that have anybody that's out there that's traded has said or at one time or another, including myself, I know you've done this, Jim. Man, I wish I hadn't done that, or man, I wish I did do that, right? And so
Right.
these kinds of things, yeah. And there's even a lock risk settings if your trading is locked. So you can set these and come back in here and modify them or turn them off or turn the toggles off if you wanted to. But there's actually a setting here where once your trading gets locked, this will actually, if I turn one of these on, then I can enable this. This will actually lock me out until the next session. So it's essentially a timed lock that doesn't open until the next section if any of your other risk
Yeah.
management settings trigger, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and this still happens to me to this day. I mean, and I've been around the block. Your very first trade out of the block is a loser, maybe a bigger loser than you anticipated. Right now, all of a sudden, you have this emotional avalanche of bad demons and bad behavior wanting to come out, revenge trading, FOMO, got to get it back, got to break even by the end of the day. All of these things create this negative drag on your thought process, and as a result, guess what happens? The next
That's
trade's
it.
a loser. The next trade's a loser, and then you're in trouble. So this is a fantastic tool.
Yeah, it's funny. You touched on something that I was talking about to somebody the other day, just about how you never want to trade like you're out for revenge, right? That's where the wheels start to come off, Jim, right? So that it's
Yeah.
funny you said that. So yeah, so these features are available. I think a lot of our users don't know about them. I think a lot of competitive platforms out there don't have these kinds of features built in. They'd be better if they did. And I think that, again, this is the foundation, I think, for everything that you do as a trader is understanding your personal level of risk and building some kind of a landscape where you can really stay within those parameters.
Yeah. And I like the reset. I like the idea of, hey, all right, bad trade, not my morning. I'm going to take the dog for a walk. I'm going to go to Starbucks. I'm going to, do something else. Just get out of the way. And then I'm less likely to log back in and toggle that thing back on. I'll wait for tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah. You got to get out of your head sometimes, right? And when you have a bad trade or a bad morning or something like that. And sometimes that's the best thing to do. So yeah, I wanted everybody to just kind of know that these features are out there. We're always thinking about how we enhance and expand these, and make them better. But if somebody, and again, these work for sim and real money trading. So I would suggest for our users that are watching this to kind of go in and play around with this in sim, and see how it works, and see how you react to it, and make believe you're trading real money really, and get a hang for this stuff, and start to think about daily and weekly loss limits and your profit triggers. I mean, that's the other side of this too. And I'd love to hear your opinion on this, Jim, but profit triggers, for daily and weekly, can you walk away when you've won enough for the day or for the week? Can you do that? So there's times where I haven't done that and I've regretted it later as a trader. And that's just as important as protecting the downside, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean that's kind of the flip side of the coin, right? You're on fire in the morning, man. You are invincible. You are the golden god of trading. Can't go
That's
wrong. And by the afternoon, guess what? You gave it all back.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
I've done that in trading, and I've done that at a few Vegas casinos. I won't mention, but it happens in both places, right? So can you chalk up a win and walk away and be satisfied for the day?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I mean, I think as you go along your career as a trader and you go further and further, you realize that those days of grand slam home runs are almost non-existent. They're very few, very, they don't happen very often. Therefore, the steady Freddy, consistent performance over a long period of time is usually the winning formula.
Yeah, I just call it hitting for average, right? The people that I know that have been really successful traders for the long term, look to hit for average. They don't try and take huge swings where they'll get one home run, but they're going to strike out 12 times after that, right? That shouldn't be the goal. You should be focused on hitting
Yeah.
for average. Singles and doubles are great. Singles are even great if you can string together a bunch of them.
Yeah, for sure. And so just to kind of toggle topics a little bit, I know as part of your job and your expertise, you've been banging away on making some improvements or changes to the mobile app. Is that right?
Yeah, we are. Do I need to share that, or we can, well, let's talk about it first for a minute. I mean, we're actually in the process of
Yeah.
kind of redoing our NinjaTrader mobile app from top to bottom, to include mobile gestures, to include to make sure that it is intuitive enough for beginners, but at the same time powerful enough for the advanced trader, right? We everyone's not the same out there. So when we build products, and services here at NinjaTrader, we have to think about the newbie who's new to futures trading, and we have to think of the more advanced trader who's a master of technical analysis, or back testing or things like that. And so we want to make sure we count for both. It also, I think it's really important with mobile applications nowadays, that I like to use the word snappy, right? They have to perform well. It's got to feel like a desktop application. It can't feel lagging. So we're doing everything we can to make sure that the performance is up to snuff and up to the level that our customers have come to expect. And reliability, right? When you're trading, I'll just say it, a leveraged active asset class, reliability is key. And that means order execution, and that means market data, and that means the platform in general. So those are kind of the highlights of what we're trying to make sure we bake into this. And we've been working on this for a year. We've spent well, it hasn't been in development for a year, but we've actually started a year ago speaking with our customers and doing an awful lot of usability studies, surveys, customer focus groups, to kind of speak to customers and find out what's important, what's not, in a mobile application, how they would use it, looking at different designs and mock-ups and things like that. So this is the single biggest, I think, customer research project that to fuel development of an application that we've ever done at this organization. So there's been hours and hours and hours of just talking to people. And again, and I said it earlier, I mean, part of product management is allowing customers to innovate through us, right? Sometimes they're not sure exactly what they want, but if you talk to them enough and you're close enough to customers, you can kind of understand that. And that it's our job to kind of bring that to life and innovate. So I can give a quick preview of what it looks like.
Mark,
Yeah, go
before
ahead.
you do that,
Yeah,
let's set just for 1 second, let's set that aside for a second.
yeah.
How much of a challenge is it? Because we're talking a mobile app. We're talking about a whole bunch of different versions of iPhones, a whole bunch of different versions of Androids. I got to imagine that's kind of a challenge.
Well, there's people a lot smarter than me that do the development that work this stuff out, and thank God for them, right? And
Good.
we have a very very talented a group of product managers here, of design people who have put this together, of engineers and QA, and many of which have been, and you know a lot of them, Jim, have been in this business forever, and they're just really passionate about bringing the best products and services to life. And we're fortunate to, I feel fortunate to be able to work amongst these kinds of people. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't. I work on, I help try and guide that, but there are some really smart people that actually put the glue on everything and put it together.
You're a master architect. I'm just going to say it now. So, is there anything could we get a sneak peek a little bit?
Yeah, I can show something that's an alpha just to kind of and I think we're a couple months away from this. I think I need to share this from my phone, so just give me a second.
I see it on the screen right now.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I see your phone. I see your phone on the screen
There
right
it
now.
is.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're up. Yeah. So this is just kind of our quote screen, and I'll tap on my phone to kind of show you some different things. But we've integrated some mobile gestures to be able to go to our symbol lists, which we've organized in here, and be able to kind of add favorites to your favorites list, which is over here. We can touch and drag and move our favorites list around for quotes. We obviously have charting in place with indicators and the ability to customize indicators, obviously. Here, Superdome, detail screen on all the symbols, which shows our performance, the value impact for every single point move. What does that mean in terms of the dollar? Session times. There's some detailed information on different things here. So essentially, we've got quotes, we've got the ability to trade, we've got a chart, we've got Dome, we've got some details. We have a managed screen that we're building that you don't see live here in the app, which in one place allows you to kind of manage all your market exposure kind of in one click from one area. And we're a couple, we're a few months into kind of building this. And again, it's just this is an alpha version. We will be looking for, and I'm going to use this to this opportunity to make a little plug if you're okay, Jim. But we will be looking for in the next couple of weeks some of our users to be able to beta test, to join the beta test program, to get their hands on this early, and to let us know what you think. What did we do that's good? What did we miss that's important to people? Any and all feedback. I mean, this is I like to think of building this along with our customers. And like I said, we've done a year of research speaking to customers, but we will be looking for some beta testers to join a beta program and just kind of help us kick the tires on this and give us feedback and help us shape what the actual release will be, which we expect to have out sometime in the fall.
Oh, if you need help finding beta customers, I know where to find them.
Okay. Well, we're looking for people, and we can stop sharing that if you want. We're looking for people to be part of that, and this is also not a one and done, right? One of the things that we want to do with our platforms is we want to make sure that we're always iterating and having a new version or an update coming pretty quickly afterwards with new features and new things in it that are customer requests or new indicators or things like that we've been working on. So we're already planning and thinking about the version 2 and what comes after we get the version 1 into people's hands. So this is not a one and done. This is an ongoing development project for us, and it's really important. I think that having a good mobile application today for futures traders is key. Even if you're a seasoned trader who's doing what I would call heavy analysis on your desktop, your trading station, so to speak, with one or multiple monitors or whatever the case is, and using the NinjaTrader desktop, you might not always be able to be there. Right. And I think that for those traders that are seasoned, you want to be able to manage your market exposure. If you can't be there, you got to run out for something. You got a doctor's appointment, you got a kid's thing, you got whatever. And so we have to have a fully functional, snappy, reliable, modern mobile app to allow our users to do that. And then obviously for people that maybe aren't doing heavy analysis for futures yet, and maybe they're a little new to the game, you've got to have enough features in the mobile app to kind of have that be an entry point for new users. And it's got to be intuitive, and it's got to be again, snappy, reliable, all the things we talked about, whether you're new or an advanced user. So we're really excited about this. A lot of work has gone into it, and we're almost ready to add a few more things to it and get some customers to kind of kick the tires and help us mold what the release will look like for the fall. And then we'll work on what's next.
Yeah, I mean, the mobile app now, the first thing I do in the morning, I'm walking around the kitchen, with my socks and my pajamas, making coffee and oatmeal, right? But I'm logged into I want to know what happened overnight. I'm logged into that. I'm looking at the quotes. I'm looking at the charts on the phone while I'm wandering around. And then the last thing I do at night is like do the same thing. I log into the mobile app. I look at what's going on because the session started, right, where we have 23-hour sessions. So there's activity going on. And it's a
otherwise, Jim, you'd be carrying a Mac or your laptop or a giant monitor around the kitchen, right? So which is not doable. So yeah.
And I'll get in more trouble from Mrs. Kaggs. I'll get in a lot of trouble.
And traders, traders, especially for something that's traded actively like futures, I think retail traders want to be, to your point, connected all the time, or at least have the ability to be connected all the time. Hey, I can pick up my phone and I can get a look at my positions and my orders and news and things like that. And that's the expectation nowadays. And so we felt that we had to really speak with customers and put something together that we think everyone's going to be proud of and enjoy using. And again, at the end of the day, this is about helping people be better traders for the long term. That's really the DNA and everything that we do around here. And that's what drives us. And quite frankly, I think that's why all of us jump out of bed in the morning, Jim, me, you, everybody that's part of this.
Yeah, no, for sure. And by the way, Mark, we're getting some really great suggestions from our viewers right now. Everybody, I'll cut and paste those into a document, send it to Mark. Really appreciate that. And if you don't have a suggestion right now and you think of one, again, listen, what Mark is saying is we're listening to you as we make this, so you have the best experience possible.
Yeah,
so just don't be shy.
I should say something else, Jim, too. And again, you guys are looking at a kind of an early alpha. There's more work to do on this before we roll it out, even for beta testing. But you guys know that we kind of have a help chat bot on our webpage and in our platforms now. And if you type in feature requests there, how do I submit a feature request? That is a direct line to product management. And instead of putting something in a form that may or may not get read, if you want to go to any of the chat functionality that we have in our platforms or on the client dashboard that I was showing earlier, you can actually submit feature requests right in there for desktop, for web, for mobile. And that gives you a direct line to myself and the rest of the product management team and design team, and engineering and QA and everybody that kind of looks at that stuff. And so help us bring your innovations and ideas to life. I'm talking to our customers now by submitting stuff to us. We love to hear from you guys. And again, it's one team in terms of us building things that help you guys be more successful. And that's the goal.
Absolutely. That's awesome, Mark. And now we talked about maybe creating a semi-regular segment on product development at Ninja going forward. I think you're game for that, right?
Absolutely. We've got a lot of cool things coming up. We have a new chart type that we've created that I think has never been done before. We've got a very interesting new sentiment indicator that's going to be happening soon. We can maybe talk about that in the future. And so there's a lot of cool things, some advanced features, new features for both desktop and mobile, and web on the way. So we'll have something to talk about on a regular basis. And again, we'll be looking for ongoing customers to help us kick the tires and beta test things, which is exciting. So.
Yeah, well, that, and hopefully I'm not speaking out of class here, but out of turn here. But man, I saw that this snapshot of that pulse indicator, and I was like, "Wow, that's genius! I can't wait for that to hit the street." So we got to add that to our next conversation.
Yes, yeah, let's talk about that in the next conversation. Hopefully I'll be able, it'll be far enough along where I can show it. But essentially it's, I'll tease it here without showing it. But what if you had an indicator that could kind of show you in real time how NT clients were feeling about price moves in certain tradable products, expressed as their short or long sentiment from actual positions that they are holding, not orders, positions. How would you use that as a trader? And any indicator is open to interpretation. There's no red light, green light, right? In indicators, we try to interpret what they're telling us. And no one alone generally is an ATM, right? I think you have to think about it that way. But we're trying to think of new ways to help people interpret market data, price and volume, and historical data, and make the right decisions in their trading. And so we're always noodling with that kind of stuff. And let's talk about that next time. We'll leave that as a tease, and hopefully everybody comes back to hear about that.
Yeah, I'm pumped up about that for sure. Well, Mark, I know you're super busy. I greatly appreciate you spending time with us on the Meet the Team segment. We're going to hit some of your colleagues up going forward, but again, I want to get kind of a semi-regular segment with you to kind of keep moving.
Yeah, and I would say anybody that's in the chat that wants to submit their name to be part of our beta test program, if you can get that to me, Jim, that would be great. I'd love to be able to start with the people that are tuning into our live streams, that are engaged and trading, and that's the perfect group of people to kind of kick the tires on our new mobile app.
Absolutely. So everybody just send me an email. Learn, Learn at ninjatrader.com, or somehow flag me down, mention it in the chat and the chat boxes, whatever. And we'll get together on that. So for sure, Mark, we'll get some folks.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. And anytime.
All of the symbols, trading ideas, and live trading are for demonstrational purposes and are not recommendations or trading advice. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. All of the information and opinions expressed by third-party guests are their own and are not necessarily those of NinjaTrader LLC. Trading futures involve substantial risk and may not be suitable for everyone, and trading futures can result in losses greater than the initial required margin. Traders should only trade futures with risk capital. Risk capital is money that you can afford to lose without jeopardizing your financial security or current lifestyle. You can find additional disclosure information on the NinjaTrader website.